Rick, the critic, when she come into your place, yo, you best not forget it. She gon' tell you how it is, cause she's Rick, the critic, when she all up in your city, yo, you best not forget it. Let you know if she like it, and if she get with it, let the whole world know and be the first to admit it. Let you know if it's good and if she dig it, cause she's Rick, the critic, Rick, the critic, Rick, the critic, Rick, the critic. She the first to admit it if she can't dig it, cause she's Rick, the critic, Rick, the critic, Rick, the critic, Rick, the critic.
Hi, I'm Rick the Critic, and today we're going to talk about two or three things. I got a couple of things here that I want to talk about. First of all, let me tell you, I had just a horrible experience not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. My daughter and I were in LA. We're driving. We just, and she's got this business that she just started, really great business, and it's cookies and all that. And I don't want to tell too much because it's just really a super, super good business. But anyway, we're down in Los Angeles and we're driving, and so she's driving down the street, and I look at her and I said, I can see the lights of the police car flashing, and I said to her, pull over to the side. I said, and let them go past. They're obviously in a hurry. She pulls over to the side. When she pulls over to the side, they jump out. We hear this on the loudspeaker. Get your hands up. Get out the car, driver. Lay down in the street. I mean, just this huge, huge doggone production. The helicopters, the police, just everywhere, police everywhere, everywhere. And then I'm telling them, I said, look, you're making a big mistake. My grandchildren are in the car. Do not make doubly sure that you know exactly what you're doing. My grandchildren in the car. So anyway, get out the car anyway. So as my grandchildren, they pull the guns on my grandchildren. This is really trauma. You know what? Let me tell you something. Not only that, but let me finish telling you this. This is some crazy, crazy stuff. So then they get out the car. They realize clearly that they've made a mistake. My daughter is not Rodriguez or whoever this guy they're looking for. And then I said to them, let me speak to your watch commander. I need to know what's going on here. So the sergeant comes out. I never saw the watch commander. The sergeant comes out, and the sergeant says, look, there's a felony warrant on the car. Well, my daughter bought the car from Drive Time about a year and a half ago, and she's been driving the car all this time, has tickets. She's Linda Ledfoot, so she's had a couple tickets, and no one has ever said anything about this warrant. So what the police department say is that there was a cold case file and someone just threw it back into the system in Santa Clarita. Get this. So after hours, and people coming downstairs with cameras, and they're taking pictures, and it's like, oh, we saw the whole thing, and now they're very apologetic, and it's like, listen, let us, we're really, really sorry, but we saw felony warrant and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So anyway, they call Santa Clarita sheriffs and tell them, listen, this is clearly not the person you're looking for. There's been a grave mistake, and please take the warrant off the car where this family can go home. And so Santa Clarita police say, well, no, we're not going to take the warrant off the car. Hey, too bad. And then they came to a point where they even said, look, you act like you have a personal attachment to these people. Either arrest them or either just impound the car. Anyway, so to make a long story even shorter, the police department ended up following us home because they were very afraid that the same thing would happen again. Another policeman would run the plates, and again, we'd be under scrutiny with guns and all this kind of stuff. So we get home, we park the car. My daughter has to go and rent a car because she cannot get back into the car. Of course, my grandchildren and all of us are very traumatized, and we're looking at each other saying, what just happened? So she gets a rental car. After she gets a rental car, she calls Drive Time because number one of the things that we're thinking to ourselves is like, okay, hey, how in the heck did a warrant get on the car? And if it did get on the car, they could run the plates. They could see that the car did not belong to the person that had it beforehand. Now the problem that I'm having is, number one, if a warrant was on the car, felony warrant, whether it was 10 years, 20 years, or whatever, she would not be able to register that car. So she was able to register the car and drive it. Now, the thing that just really gets my goat is After a week or so of stealing a rental car and this guy being a complete jerk, Detective Murphy in Santa Clarita saying, oh no, I'm not going to take the warrant off the car, call back, back and forth, back and forth. So finally, she called Internal Affairs. And you know what, guys? Quite honestly, you got a problem with the police department, definitely not just write Internal Affairs, but call them and make a show, because this is just really some crazy stuff. And so she gets Internal Affairs on the phone. Internal Affairs, they immediately release the car back to her. And what's really stupid is that when you call an Internal Affairs and make a complaint, it goes into the policeman's jacket. So, I mean, you want that to go into your file? I mean, because you're being just a jerk. Not only was he a jerk, he never called her back, and so now her car, like I said, is still. So now we call Drive Time back, and Drive Time, I don't even know what to say about them. I mean, we're still wondering what they're going to do. If they do the right thing, then I'm all for it, because they need to. First of all, if you have those kind of things, I mean, how do you register a car? Now, that wasn't the clincher. So now, LA Police Department, I have to say, you know, they made a mistake, and they stayed there for the 3 or 4 hours really trying to clean it up, and I have to say that. But on the other hand, you know what I'm saying, Santa Clarita Police Department, not only were they jerks, I mean, it was just past the point of it was just way out the box. And I have some other things that I want to say, but I mean, it was just totally out the box. All right, so now then, we get the car. Finally, after Internal Affairs gets involved in it, then everything is like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So then the police calls Bear from Santa Clarita, and they tell her, listen, we're so very sorry, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? As I think about this thing, I mean, really, really think about it, how do you get a warrant on the car, and what was the probable cause? Why did they even stop us? I mean, the windows are tinted on the side, granted, but if there could have been a warning, if they would have just ran the plates, they could have came and they could have knocked on the door. So I'm not angry because LA Police Department said that when they ran the plates that the felony warrant came up and they had to act accordingly. I've never seen that many policemen. I saw that same amount of policemen when I saw it. Remember that Hollywood bank robbery thing? That's the only time I've seen that many policemen. So it was crazy. So I want to say, you know, and let me tell you what else I saw. Do you know I saw a police officer in LA with a Monster in his hand? He was drinking a Monster. The lady next door called him out. She had a complaint, and he was standing there talking to the lady, taking the incident, and he had a Monster in his hand. I don't know about you, I don't know about me, but if he was that tired, I feel like he should have just went to the station and just laid down and took a nap. I mean, a Monster, an energy drink, I mean, clearly, you take them. I've taken them, you know, I've had them before, and I don't like the way they make you feel. They make you crash, but anyway. So I'm just saying, be very, 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 very careful. Not all policemen are bad. Not all policemen are good. When you get stopped, you know what I'm saying, just take note of what's going on around you and make sure that your facts are straight, and make sure that there are witnesses to see what's going on. If you have a problem with the police department and you're not comfortable, and I'm saying this to you ladies, you know what I'm saying? Put your emergency brake or your emergency lights on and just cruise slowly into a well-lit area where there are people, where you will not be in a compromising position, because not all policemen are good. And I just hate to say that. Now, I happen to love our Altadena sheriff. I don't know much about Pasadena police because I like Altadena. I just love the Altadena sheriffs. I just love them, so I am partial to it. I don't know what's going down in Pasadena Police Department, but I will. I'll probably take a drive down there. So anyway, that's my gripe for today as far as the police department. Now, my other gripe, and I really hate to get down like this, but let me tell you something. Alan, the guy that sells the monkey bread around here in Pasadena, and he sells it in Altadena too, out of his car. Anyway, let me tell you what he did. Thanksgiving came around. Now mind you, $10 for monkey bread. It's a specialty thing, and I don't know if you guys have had monkey bread. Some people make it one way, but the guy's grandfather made the bread, and it's it's a family secret or whatever, and the grandfather's not doing it anymore, and so he's taken on this business. I'm sure if his grandfather knew what a jerk he is, I'm sure he would probably jump up and take the business back. But let me tell you what this guy did. I called this guy last week, a couple weeks ago, and I said, look, I'd like to order some bread. My children are coming down for Thanksgiving, and I'd like to have some monkey bread. So like I said, $10 a pop. So I said, give me, a couple of them. So he says, I'm coming Saturday. And I said, okay, Saturday. Then I thought, well, if you come closer to Thanksgiving, that would be better. How about Wednesday? He said, sure, I'll be down there Wednesday. So then he calls me Tuesday, and he says, I'm in Pasadena now. And I thought, okay, great. Where do you want me to meet you? Well, meet me over here on Washington and Lake, and I'll have the bread. So I said, okay. I leave from the station, drive down to Washington. I go back there, no Alan. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking around, I'm sitting there, I'm looking around, I'm thinking, where is this guy? So I sit there for about 15, 20 minutes, no Alan. So I leave, so I get on the phone, I call him on the phone, and I have to leave a message because he's not answering the phone. And I said to him, pardon me, I said, listen, I went to where we were supposed to meet, I didn't see you, da-da-da-da-da. So then I make a second call. No answer. So we're talking about around 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So around 4:30 or so, I get the call. He calls back. He says, oh, listen. Oh, I'm so sorry. Listen, I got so blessed, and I just forgot about, I just forgot. And I said, okay. So I'm listening to this, and actually Brandy and I are in the car together, and she's actually conversing with him, and I'm driving. And so she's repeating what he's saying, and he's saying, oh, I just got so blessed, and, da-da-da, and I got and I just forgot, and da-da. So he says, and, can I, I'll meet with you later. I know that you're, headed out, da-da. So anyway, she says, I said, you know what, let me pull over and talk to the guy because I'm feeling really some kind of way right now. I'm really feeling some kind of way. I can't. I'm feeling some misuse here, and I'm not feeling total anger, but I'm feeling some disappointment. So I said, let me pull over. So I pull over, and I call the guy back. I said, listen. I said, I don't understand what. Oh, well, listen, I called you, and I said, wait a minute, brother. First of all, let me explain something to you. This is a specialty bread. I don't know about you, but not a lot of people pay $10, for bread every day or what have you. So what I'm hearing, what you're saying to me is that you just forgot, just forgot that I had ordered some bread, and you just got blessed, and you just kind of went on about your business. I said, are you telling me that, as a small person that I don't mean a lot, well, no, I'm just saying that, and then he tried to get real cute with it and said, well, I called you 4 or 5 times. And I'm thinking, what in the heck does that have to do with anything when you told me to meet you, on Washington and Lake, and you weren't there? All the other stuff it has nothing to do with, I met you, I was there at a place that you did not get to, and for 4 or 5 hours, you did not even call within that time frame to say to me, look, I'm sorry, I got caught up, you know what, please. So then he says to me, after I tell him, you know what, you cannot do business like this. You are trying to set up a business. I'm a small person, but I have a big voice. Well, he didn't know that. He didn't know that I do Rick the Critic or anything like that. In his mind, it was like he just dissed somebody. Hey, you wanted some bread? So what? I didn't get it to you. I got these bigger orders somewhere else, and hey, you just didn't mean anything. So I'm saying to him, you know what? We're going to do business with each other. Come on now. You can't do that. You cannot have that kind of attitude with people. Now, I might be the person that might buy bread from you, maybe one a week that might keep gas in your car for you to travel. The other bread that you're getting from people because it's a holiday and they feel like splurging $10 on some bread, that's a totally different thing. But you can't do business like that. And so Well, I mean, when we got off the phone, it was kind of like, well, hey, I can give you some, free bread. I said, that's not the point. You're missing the point. I don't have a problem paying for my bread. What I am saying to you is that you cannot do business like that, with not with me. So he says, well, I'll call you when I get to Pasadena. I have yet to get that call. So I need to say to any of you guys dealing with the brother that sells the monkey bread, Alan, you know what I'm saying? If he does business with me and he does that kind of business with you, you might want to just kind of like pass on the brother, because you know what? It's one thing to be, you know what I'm saying, to get caught. I know people get caught up. I do understand that. It's another thing when you think that because they're a small person, you just get totally out the box with it, like, well, it doesn't mean anything. What I have to say is that, look, I don't want any bread again. I will never eat monkey bread again, not his, because he just lost a customer. And I'm telling all of you guys out there that know me, you know that when somebody does it to me, I have to let it be known, and know this. If he did it to me, he's going to do it to you. So I hope that somebody sees this and tells him that he was really, really way out. He needs to redeem himself, and he needs to get right. And if he doesn't want to get right, I might talk about him like I did the Boys and Girls Club for the next 2 or 3 months, okay? Now, with that being said, this weekend I went to see Tangled. The Walt Disney retake on Rapunzel, and it was in 3D. I went over to the Arc Light over in Pasadena. $18 a ticket. These crappy little glasses. I put the glasses on, and now maybe I'm missing something, but my girlfriend Barbara called me and said that she'd seen Tangled in La Cañada at the theater there in La Cañada, where the 210 the 2 and the 210 meet. There's a theater a little over the way. She said it was excellent. She gave me all these great reviews about how wonderful the show was, how much, just how the colors were vibrant, everything just kind of came out at you. Well, I don't know what they have at the theater in La Cañada, but I do know that the ArcLight was very disappointing. I went over there to see it. Like I said, the first set of glasses I had on, it just looked regular to me. So I don't know, you know, nothing jumped out at me. So you know what I'm kind of thinking? I'm kind of feeling like it wasn't made in 3D and they kind of tried to make it in 3D or something. I don't know what happened, but let me tell you this. It was a big disappointment, a total disappointment. Do not take your $18 and go over to the ArcLight and fool with the 3D glasses. If you want to go see the movie, I don't know if it's $3 difference. I think someone said to me it might be $15 if you don't do the 3D. Don't waste your time at the ArcLight for the extra $3 for the 3D glasses or what have you. It's a total farce, and it's. You know what? It was Rapunzel. It had some little high points. It was okay. It was okay. I really could have actually sat and watched the movie just, on my television. Yeah, but to pay $18 to see it in 3D, and the 3D thing was really crappy. It was just a total disappointment. So, you know what, ArcLight, like I said, the kind of money that they're charging, they should be ashamed. They should clearly be ashamed. Do not pay the money for the 3D. Just go. If you want to take your children to see a family movie and you want to take them and don't get caught up in the 3D thing, because that is just totally just way out. I mean, it's not even true. It's like the biggest lie that I've ever heard. It is just so disheartening. It's just, ugh. But anyway. Now, I tell you the other thing that I saw that I really enjoyed. I didn't see Colored Girls. I didn't see that. Somebody said it was kind of depressing or it was really good. And I just, I don't do the Roots thing. I don't do the Color Purple thing. I know everybody rants and raves and the Color Purple and the Roots. I don't care for those. And so I don't spend money on them. And I kind of got the feeling that maybe the Colored Girls might have been in the same frame or men bashing or something or whatever. I'm going to go and see it because I need to review it properly. So I haven't seen it. I just, like I said, just I'll get around to it. But what I did see was Medea's big happy family, and it was funny. I mean, Tyler Perry, I cannot say this thing was funny, and it had some points, some very high points in the movie that made just very, very good sense. I mean, there was just, sometimes you can see a movie and one thing will do it for you, and it's like it just makes the whole movie. Um, kind of like with the Karate Kid, but I'll get back to that. But what he said was, as Madea, so it was really funny. And he says, listen, he says, I know some of you guys came to the play, because it's a play, and I know some of you came to the play to see the play because your heart is heavy. You got those high interest loans or what have you, and you thought God had blessed you and put you in a house, and and you were happy. Now you're feeling like it's a curse because you can't get up under these high mortgage payments and da 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 da. And he says, I have this just one word for you. He says, you thought it was going to come through Bishop T.D. Jakes or through Joyce Myers. He says, but it's coming through Madea. It is just hilarious. And he says, move. Move. He says, just move. He says, when businesses go under or when they're having troubles, they downsize. And that's the same thing that we need to do. We need to downsize. He says, do not stay in those houses, suffering and taking yourself through stress. He said, just move. He said, you're worried about what your friends are going to say. He said, but they're having the same troubles as you. That made it for me. That just clearly made the movie for me because, with everything going on, with all the, people having these clearly high stress levels because of these houses and all those things, that it just made it for me. It made the whole movie for me, the whole play. So I enjoyed it. He's got some scenes in there where he's talking about parenting, and he's got some things, and of course, he's what I did like that he wasn't doing it. No more weed smoking. He just, she's still toting a gun. Medea's still toting a gun and shooting at people, but the weed smoking thing, I can see the growth. You know how you see something in the very beginning, and I think that they use those tactics to actually pull you in and catch you, and then once they've have that captured audience, then things begin to change. And I think that's pretty much the point. That I kind of saw that in him. I remember from the very beginning of the plays, the weed smoking and all that kind of crazy stuff. I remember that. And then I remember what I just saw a couple nights ago. And I'm telling you, it has changed. He really, the play was great. I definitely would say, go and see Medea's Happy Family. It was off the chart. And like I said, the couple of things just did it for me when he said move. I had a great Thanksgiving. My children came down and we had a wonderful time together. I gotta say that, anytime that we can bring our family together, anytime we're all together, it's just a wonderful time. There's so many people that are out there that are just having so many other challenges. If your children are healthy and you're able to show and give love and you're able to spend time together, cherish that time. And I'm like Tyler Perry, you know what? Nothing, not a house, not a car, none of those things matter if you don't have your health and you don't have your family. Just love your children. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. I'm looking forward to New Year's. The time is just kind of it's just so fast. You just looked up and it was, bam, just gone. Here we are in tomorrow's December. So we will be trudging into a new year in what, less than 32 days or so. So I'm excited about the new year. I know you're excited about the new year. It's so many things that I am so looking forward to doing and wanting to get things going and having a great time. So listen. Have a happy, 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 happy holiday. I'm so glad that you could join me. I had a lot of fun. The police department, the Monkey Bread Man, ArcLight. I'm so glad that you allow me every week to come in and share the feelings of myself, and also too, if you have some things that you want to talk about or some things that have happened, and hey, give me a call, write me, let me know, because we are the consumers, and with money being as tight as it is, the economy, every dime that we spend with every vendor or every business should be important to them. And that's why I'm just really so hot at this guy that sells this bread, because my money is important to me. And my money, if I spend my money with you, that means that I like the product or I'm trying to support your cause. And anytime that you show me or feel that, that's not appreciated, then I need to take my money someplace else. And to be quite honest with you, when he did that, I went right down to Arrow Wheat down there on Mission, and they had Hawaiian sweet rolls. They had bags of them like this for only $1. So my Thanksgiving dinner included not the monkey bread, but we had wonderful Hawaiian sweet rolls, and we had turkey and ham and greens and yams and macaroni and cheese. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we didn't have monkey bread, and we still had fun, and we laughed and we talked, and I had a great time with my family. I hope your holiday is going to be just great. I am praying for you. I am just believing in God that when the New Year's 2011 comes in, that we are all going to be just starting off, having a good start off. I thank you for joining Rick the Critic. I hope to see you next week. I'll be on the television and in your living rooms or in your bedrooms or wherever your television might be. Have a wonderful and a happy holiday, and thank you for tuning in.
Rick, the critic, when she come into your place, yo, you best not forget it. She gon' tell you how it is, cause she's Rick the critic. When she all up in your city, yo, you best not forget it. Let you know if she like it, and if she get with it. Let the whole world know and be the first to admit it. Let you know if it's good and if she dig it, cause she's Rick the critic. Rick the critic, Rick the critic, Rick the critic. She the first to admit it if she can't dig it, cause she's Rick the critic, 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 Rick.